Hello everyone, I am Zineb Kobi and I'm here to present you my poster that saying thank you to a compliment allow individuals to embrace praises emotionally and attempt to switch from cognitive to affective appraisal. This is an experimental study we ran with my faculty advisor, Professor Anthony Nelson. I don't appreciate receiving compliments. They make me feel uncomfortable. I often dismiss them in my head with sentences like, she's trying to be nice, or he says the same thing to everyone. I am not the only one in this situation. In a paper published in 2007, Marigold and her colleagues argued that we may feel comfortable or not when we receive a compliment. It depends, among other things, on our level of self-esteem. But self-esteem is just one part of our broader self-concept, which encompasses all the beliefs and feelings we have about ourselves. And when we interact with others, our self-concept tries to fulfill two main functions. We seek feedback from others that enhance our self-concept, but we also seek feedbacks consistent with our self-concept. So, according to self-consistency motivation, low self-esteem individuals dismiss positive feedback because it doesn't match their self-view. What can we do to make people with low self-esteem embrace much-needed positive feedback? Our study hypothesized that responding thank you to a compliment helps low self-esteem individuals embrace the praise. Why does this small intervention would work? For three main reasons. First, a study done by Marigold and her colleagues showed that it is possible to induce low self-esteem to embrace positive feedback. Second, Swan and colleagues split reaction to positive input into two categories, cognitive and emotional. Cognitive responses are based on the degree to which the feedback confirms the participant's self-view. Affective responses are based on the feedback positive or negative valence. Third, McKenna found that an emotional stimulus can disrupt performance on a simple cognitive task. So, our experiment hypothesized that saying thank you in response to a compliment may function as a switch from a cognitive to an affective appraisal of the praise. It provides a pathway toward increasing self-esteem. Now that I provided you with some background and exposed our hypothesis, let me guide you through our method. We performed our study online through Zoom. Our participants were 21 Penn State College students. They participated in the study with a romantic partner, a friend, or a roommate, someone they had known for at least 6 months. At the beginning of the experiment, we measured participants' self-esteem. We randomly assigned students to either a control condition or an experimental condition. Participants took turns and gave 3 compliments to each other. In the control condition, we instructed the participant to say nothing after receiving the praise. In the experimental condition, we instructed participants to say thank you when they received the praise. At the end of the experiment, all participants completed a measure of the state of self-esteem. We found some surprising results. Participants who responded thank you to a compliment benefited more from the praise on average. But interestingly, participants who did not respond thank you to the compliment showed lower self-esteem after the experiment. Now that I exposed you to our main results, let's discuss their implication, raise the study limitation, and see how we can get a little bit further. Participants show increase in state of self-esteem after receiving a compliment and answering thank you. Unexpectedly, participants had a decrease in their self-esteem and ended up worse when they received a compliment and did not answer thank you. This change can be attributed to a switch from a cognitive to an emotional appraisal of the compliment. Participants were able to bypass cognitive self-evaluation using thank you as an emotional stimulus. These results have a practical implication. Nudging individuals with a direct intervention to welcome positive feedback will help them enhance positive aspects of their self-concept. However, this study has few limitations. First, participants were college students and not differ very much on their level of self-esteem. Also, the sample size was small. If we want to go further with this study, we should rerun it with a large sample. It also would be interesting to observe cerebral flow during cognitive and affective appraisal of a compliment. Neuroimaging studies show that separate brain areas are involved in cognitive and emotion. Could different parts of the brain be at work when praise is assessed cognitively and emotionally? I will end this presentation by addressing my research process and my understanding of becoming a researcher in social psychology. First, I started with the literature review. I gathered all empirical papers I found related to my topic. I used terms like compliment or positive feedback and low self-esteem or negative self-concept. I also digged deeper into the two leading theories that explain our reaction to feedback: self-enhancement and self-consistency theory. I used the Penn State Library database to find many peer-reviewed news and magazine articles, and I also relied on some book chapters. When my research slowed down, I asked help from a librarian who proposed me with some Boolean research using words like not, and, or. If I weren't at Penn State, I wouldn't have access to such a thorough database. Access to the library database mattered a great deal, because it allowed me to carefully sketch my experimental studies contour and build upon existing theory and past research. I think people outside of universities may have access to a more limited amount of information using Google Scholars tools. Completing this project made me even more aware of my desire to do research in social psychology. When we first found out about the study's result with my faculty advisor, Professor Anthony Nelson, I was thrilled. I knew I found my calling. I want to spend the rest of my career learning and studying how we, as humans, influence each other's thoughts, feelings, and behavior. Thank you.